Yo, I'm FXToyCat, and have you ever wished for a Minecraft seed with something amazing that you knew could exist, but you just couldn't find a seed that matched it? Apparently this was a common enough phenomenon that I asked for your seed dreams and got hundreds of comments, but today I've decided to take the top 5 and ask CrackedMagnet, aka the best seed finder that Minecraft Bedrock has, to search through the quintillions of seeds that Minecraft has and find the best possible match for each of these 5 comments. Multiple of these sound absolutely impossible, but yet there is a best match for each of the 5, and today it's going to be fun to go through them. Please do like this video if you do like it, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel to see wild seed things like this. And indeed, if you have a comment you'd like to see for the future, leave it down below. But for now, I'm looking forward to jumping into the first seed. So the most voted suggestion in the entire comment section was from the Magical Nam, asking for a deep dark biome at the highest possible Y coordinate. This seems really impossible because it's literally called the deep dark. It tries to generate very far below the ground. Finding one above Y0 is a challenge, which is why finding one above Y100 was an extreme challenge, but one which is fulfilled by this seed. This seed is astounding, by the way, not just because you spawn in a mesa biome at Y190, it's all mesa mountains, which is a weird enough spawn by itself. It makes it easier to get sticks than it is to get wood by a significant amount. Surviving on this seed is a very interesting challenge, but also when you push it to its limits, it results in some very weird things. This is a dripstone cave that is generating well above Y240 because technically speaking, this is a cave. Because this is a cave, when you go 100 blocks down from it, you don't just get one of the biggest dripstone caves you've ever seen. It gets bigger, by the way, but you also get at the very bottom of that something very strange. Is that a little bit of skulk? Yes, that is a deep dark biome, which is admittedly 100 blocks below the surface, but when the surface is over 200 blocks in the sky, you get yourself something very interesting, which you can jump straight into. This is a deep dark biome, which starts at the lowest point. Bear in mind, the easiest point we can access is about Y120, but its highest point, which is the point of this challenge, is not just Y120, it's not just Y130, which already, by the way, would be wild by itself, but all the way up here, as you can see, Y136 is as high as this whole thing possibly goes. What a wild, insane time this biome is, because bear in mind, not only is this a deep dark biome here, if you removed all of this sculpt, there'd be no biome left, but no mobs would spawn here. That's kind of handy by itself, but also you can take this in 2 directions. There is more of a deep dark over there if you want to have more high up deep dark. It really is quite a big one. You start to get skulk sense and stuff, but also if you just enjoy the big high up cave and you think that it's great that you spawn next to that, I think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to play one of the weirdest Minecraft seeds that spawns you in a dripstone cave that is actually the size of a biome you expect in Minecraft. You know, when they showed us trailers for the caves and cliffs, this is what we were expecting. Deep dark in some real sizes too, by the way, at the very bottom, and then ridiculously sized dripstone caves. This is a unique experience to go through, and I secretly wish I had an Elytra already because this looks like such a wild experience. And even weirder is this deep dark biome down here, by the way, which is well under 100 blocks below that one. The craziest bit, or rather, it looks like it is, the craziest bit about this is still found at Y65. 64 is the sea level in your world, and if we look at some of the bits over here, it's well above 64, so you can be above where most people are playing their Minecraft worlds while still being in the deepest, darkest biome. Isn't that incredible? The answer should hopefully be yes, it is. This is a seed for anyone who wants a very weird experience, and honestly, anyone who joins your world will be very much confused, I imagine, which might also be true for the second challenge, which someone put to CrackedMagnet. By the way, these seeds are of course found by CrackedMagnet. Need to mention that as always. You might say, oh wow, it goes even deeper. Speaking of going even deeper, this second seed is from the suggestion, I am a Dorse. Interestingly enough, I said to CrackedMagnet, you can ignore any seeds that aren't actually possible. If someone suggests something which genuinely can't be done, what's the point in trying to follow it? But CrackedMagnet decided to help this person out anyway, because they wanted to see a village which is generated over a big pit, causing there to be village structures in the ancient city. CrackedMagnet said this wasn't possible, but decided to test for it anyway, and he's found the best example that both proves this isn't possible, but shows that it goes way further than you would expect. So, as you can see, you spawn at about Y144. Again, very interesting mountains right near the spawn. Look at that, look at this, look around, you get a very nice, interesting vibe for what you're getting right here, and then you look at the fact that the village goes quite low down over here. In fact, because the village tries to expand, even though there's no land here, it just keeps on going on, leading to one of the weirdest wheat farms you've probably ever seen. Seriously, look at this. What am I meant to be seeing here? But even weirder than this and the water flow that comes from it is the fact that the village does try to go really far down across a dripstone cave, resulting in the belle of the village and even the iron golem being trapped in a cave where I imagine the iron golem is very much distressed with what he's getting. But even weirder than that is what happens when you go deeper, because all the way down to Y0, the game is still trying to generate village structures. This is the lowest down village structure you can find. It's actually at -1, it looks like, and as you can see, there is water down here. There are melon crops because it's savannah. There are in fact wheat crops also because it's a savannah, but there is nothing in the village which generates below this. The game has tried everything. You know, this is the lowest possible point it's willing to generate the dirt. You'll notice if you look around carefully, everywhere else, the game literally will go as low as possible until it reaches the floor. If that means generating on a floating piece of island near some dripstone, sure. If that means generating on a random island above a whole cave, sure. The game generates at the lowest possible point that it's able to, except it has a floor value of -1, meaning no matter how low your village tries to go, it stops itself at -1, meaning your ancient city needs to go higher up. But ancient cities always spawn at the same Y level, meaning these two structures can never intersect, at least in vanilla Minecraft. It's sad to see, but also crazy to see. You're in a deep dark down here, you're in an ancient city, you're gonna worry about the warden, but you can look up and maybe see some villagers harvesting some crops. What a ridiculous world, but also, how can you not be intrigued by this? The amount of light that comes into this deep dark is definitely a unique thing by itself, and also the fact that you get one of these crazy big caves is something that appeals to a lot of people who want to do more exploration-based mining than necessarily the type of mining where you just, some people like the type of mining where you just strip mine, and it's very calming, but sometimes you want adventure-based mining, and this is the seed that gives you that. But again, sadly, it is not fulfilled. I wanted to fulfill your dream, but we couldn't today. However, this next challenge from Jake Carroll 8075 certainly seems impossible, because they say they want to see a seed which has the largest possible mushroom island close to spawn, despite the fact that it is impossible to spawn in a mushroom biome. Our current understanding of the way seed finding works is that all of these conditions that Minecraft tries to spawn you in, it tries to find an ideal spawn, are the exact opposite of what a mushroom biome is. This is kind of deliberate because, it wouldn't give you an ideal Minecraft experience on the first go, but it does mean that spawning in a mushroom biome is impossible, but they do say the closest big mushroom biome to spawn, and also, technically speaking, that's a mushroom in this biome, so technically, this is the mushroom biome, just not the mushroom biome. But yeah, the closest mushroom biome, the closest mushroom island, if you want to call it that, is found fairly close, in my opinion, just over there. So I'll do a super fast forward fly for you. And you'll see that this is about 1,000 blocks away from the spawn. This technically doesn't make it the closest mushroom biome to spawn. You can spawn a few hundred blocks from some sometimes, but it's the closest big mushroom biome. So the average mushroom biome, what are you picturing? Like maybe all the way to the edge of my render distance, you might say is an insane one. However, this is going to be a very wild one to measure after I mentioned the fact that the mushroom biome is unique for containing mycelium as a naturally spawning block. It's unique for having these giant mushrooms, meaning infinite food. The mushroom cow, which is a also source of infinite food, but then on top of that, this one is unique for having a lush cave below it, meaning you can still have access to some of the fun things you'll miss while you're here. Also, this guy is having a great time by himself, but yeah, let's show you the scale of this biome now. It is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, first things first, we're gonna turn up our render distance. We can see hundreds of blocks right now, but this is a thousands of blocks big mushroom biome, so we're gonna have to max that out. Oh my god. I keep thinking, yeah, I'm gonna see the other side soon because I've set my render distance to over 1,000 blocks, and then I just keep not seeing the other side. Oh, and it goes all the way over there too. What the heck? Who even wants a mushroom island this big? I mean, clearly 100-something people, but like, look at the scale of this thing. And you'll notice, by the way, although the contiguous landmass only goes from about -800 on the left side here, although actually, if we're gonna count the furthest end to furthest end, you'll see that it only goes to about -1,000 over there. We'll confirm that. It actually goes even further if you count this island. So add a few extra 100 blocks if you don't count the end here as being a different thing, but just one contiguous mushroom island goes all the way from over here, -1,063, all the way across this. Oh, it's so intimidating. There are not many situations where you can look at the world and see a single biome for this far when you haven't altered the data. This is wild. The number of red mushrooms looks like it seriously outnumbers the brown. I'm sure they're just more visible, but like, seriously, this is a chore to get across. Most people, a regular sized mushroom island might already be too much, right? But the size of this one is just wild. So even though the mushroom island is a very useful place for getting your hands on mushrooms, which might be the most valuable, if not the cutest mob that Minecraft has, I would certainly have to agree that being so big that it is a multiple thousand block trek across, probably not the most ideal thing. I mean, just look at this. It's just so big. If you want to play a single biome world, but you don't have access to, superflat generators, if you're playing on a place where you can't alter your save files, because Mojang hasn't added the options to it in the game yet, this is a way to play single biome Mushroom Island. And no one will even know. Genuinely, when you're in the middle of this, if you're at any render distance below about 100, you'll have no clue that the mushroom biome doesn't end, which is just insane. I'm still going over 2,000 blocks since I started. The actual end is somewhere about 1,800 blocks. We're going to get the exact maths on this, but just keep in mind it goes for quite a bit further, so we have to super fast even this. 1,860 blocks is the end here, so if we work out the difference between those two values, there is 2,925 blocks which you can walk from one X value to the other. So admittedly, that doesn't mean it's a 3,000 by 3,000 square, but it is a lot more than 1,000 blocks wide, meaning you can expect something in the region of 3 million to 6 million blocks, because 3,000 on one axis times over 1,000 on the other. This is just nuts. No one needs 6 million blocks of mycelium, but you asked for it, and so here you can have it. This one is actually a really unique mushroom biome. Maybe this is, this seems like it's a rare quirk, but every now and then, not only is there grass that spawns here, but also, I thought these were oak trees. No, this biome is so big that you can chop down enough trees from it just by finding azaleas mixed in. Honestly, single biome Mushroom Island is one of the most insane, zany things that I think you can do of the seed. This is a challenge seed, not a real Minecraft seed. Why did you ask for it, damn it? It's filled with so many caves you could go through. I know I'm not the only one who's curious exactly what is below this thing, and so let's just quickly give it a tiny peek in Spectator to find out. The answer seems to be lots of caves. You will find not just your lush caves, in fact, I imagine this biome is so big you'll find a ridiculous number of caves. You can see there's a ridiculous number of geodes. There are dungeons. I don't know if the dungeons will work. Actually, you know, that's an interesting question. They didn't used to work way back in the console days, but there's dungeons in here, there's mine shafts in here. The only structure I can't confirm there is a stronghold, but the fact that you can find everything else you would ever want here is insane. And so yeah, have you ever wanted to play single biome Minecraft? This is the seed for you. Technically, one of the things I like to do on Seed Sunday is not just show you the most valuable part of the seed, but also the other things you're going to encounter when you spawn, because that's it's not just about the end goal, right? It's also about what else you find. So let's go back to the spawn. And let's quickly mention that this seed is by no means mediocre. It has that 3,000 block mushroom biome, which just, could be a really big benefit if you want it to be. But even if you want to ignore that, I'd say this is still an above average seed, not only because you have a jungle at spawn, but the jungle edge biome that's easy to navigate. So you get one type of wood right here, really nice in my opinion. You get bamboo, which is really, really nice in my opinion. Then you get yourself some forest, you get yourself some, you get yourself some plains, clearly, because they've got a village. You've got savanna, you've got mesa and desert. Being able to have a decent variety of biomes here is really, really nice, right? In review, this seed seriously feels like a console edition sized world by having lots of microbiomes close together, which is exactly what you want in so many circumstances. I absolutely love having this many biomes close to spawn, but imagine if there was a way to do better. So Ninja Noodle asked very nicely for the seed challenge. They would like a seed that has as many different biomes as possible within 1,000 block of spawn. Ideally, it would have all the major distinct biomes, and then they list a bunch and say, is there a seed that has all 14 of these biomes within 1,000 blocks of spawn? Well, here are the 14 biomes they requested, and let me show you what it has, because sadly, I think you'll find it has failed, because despite the fact that you spawn in a savanna biome, that's one ticked off, with a cherry grove biome right behind you, that's another ticked off, there is a meadow biome biome right here, but it doesn't count towards the total. Same with this forest biome, which is really handy if you want birch and oak. You can find oak wood everywhere in Minecraft, but birch wood is going to be handy, so that's a bonus biome that we can't take use of. Same with the beach, and sadly, there's multiple types of ocean, but only one is clarified, so ocean is right there, 2 different types of it is lovely, but different, it's great regardless. So we've got ocean covered, savanna and cherry. Then you can clearly see just over here, there is desert and there is mesa. Okay, that's 5 ticked off, but it's looking like a normal seed. Are you really going to have another bunch of biomes appearing from nowhere? The answer is, of course, yes we are. So check the coordinates if you ever want to confirm that we're less than 1,000 blocks from spawn. Spawn is nicely 0, 0. So if ever either of our coordinates are above 1,000, we're not 1,000 blocks from spawn. But this is a mountain biome, a real deal one, by the way. You'll find snowier snow here if that's what you're looking for, as well as, of course, some tiger trees. Then there is a jungle biome just over there and a plains next to it, which who doesn't love a plains? It's a really important biome. This is a really great one too. But then if we just go to the east of that instead, kind of go this way, you can see not only does this plains biome get really rocky and there's a village found over there, but also as you can see, actually look at this, a tiny little snowier peaks here. Also you can see that there is a snowy tundra biome right here, which is wonderful. Although they technically ask for tundra or ice spikes, we have tundra as well as having a like an iceberg biome, so it's kind of getting both, but kind of not. A stony beach, which doesn't count for anything. This is a snowy taiga, but they asked for a taiga, and so just behind that is not just a regular taiga, but a mega taiga as well. It's not on the list, but we've got to count it right. You also will find all the different types of cave biomes below here, but here is the lush caves. You can find the rest quite easily, of course. And then on top of that, you might be questioning, where are the last few things here? Oh my god, Toy Cat, I think you're missing a dark forest. I think you're missing a mangrove swamp, and I also think you've got to be missing the mushroom biome. Wow, you can't miss out 3 biomes from a list of 14. Well, the good news is we didn't. So if we go to these coordinates, again, 285, 800, you'll find not just a mangrove swamp, which is interesting enough by itself, but you'll find that the mangrove swamp is really close to a desert temple. That is pretty cool if you ask me. Head the exact opposite direction to -700 but +900 and you'll find a mushroom biome, one which is entirely surrounded by an iceberg, which I love, by the way. This means that you really can kind of skate around the entire thing, which sounds great, but this is wonderful by itself too. While another island much closer to spawn has this roof forest, which is quite an interesting place to see it, right? The roof forest seems to be not just its own island, but also kind of spread onto that island and this island, and also connects to a birch forest, which they didn't ask for, but it's a nice bonus biome for you anyway. Basically, every major type of biome is found within 1,000 blocks of spawn, and most of them are found significantly closer than even that. There is one exception, however. There is no swamp biome found anywhere within 1,000 blocks of spawn. I think the mangrove swamp covers it, but if you don't think it covers it, this is a fail. I think because it's not just the 13 of the 14 biomes he named, but it's also one of the most similar biomes, and there's a lot of biomes he didn't name which are less similar. I would say this is a pass, but what do you think, Internet? Let me know in the comments down below. But let's finally mention that although this seed is great, this is a really good seed for people who want something balanced. If you want to do the whole, this is a realistic world and it should suck for me to explore it, which some people love, then this is not the seed for you. But if you hate having to trek so far to find the blocks from a different biome, this is a wonderful seed, and it's a great starter seed. It might be my new recommendation for someone who wants to get into Minecraft again, who already knows what all the biomes have, but just doesn't want to go through a lot of effort going through it all. This is the seed I recommend, but you know what else I recommend? Because finally, we have ND_0176 who asked for a seed that has a mountain bowl / ring that is surrounded by another ring of mountains. So the mountain bowl is a not uncommon Minecraft feature. I mean, it's still kind of rare, but the Minecraft seed finding community has found some of these because mountains will sometimes wrap around on themselves. Is it possible to have this happen twice in a row? Is something that CrackedMagnet initially thought, yeah, there is 0 chance of that ever happening, and this was going to be another one of those impossible ones, but he decided to look anyway, and what he found was quite incredible if you ask me, because yeah, the optional features were at least one of the mountains reaching 256, a stronghold within both mountain rings, 1 or more ancient cities, and more than one of the large cheese caves. But what's interesting is if you look at this, you find something that is the closest Minecraft will generate to one ring entirely encapsulated by another. So this is the area in which I spawned. It's called a bowl because just like the bowls you eat cereal out of, it has, you know, long lips around the outside, which means means from the bottom you can't see out of it. This is an incredibly interesting terrain feature, and interestingly enough, this is a seed that has not just one bowl, but two bowls next to each other. They're connected by a single mountain range. This bowl actually has different biomes at the center of it. You've got a birch forest, you've got a regular forest, maybe a flower forest. Who knows what's going on here? It's a very interesting set of terrain, but on each side of this, including that, and including this, and then including over here, you'll notice something very interesting because there are mountain bowls on each side of this mountain bowl. So it's not one mountain bowl that connects up all of the borders, but every single part of this mountain bowl has more mountain bowls on the other side, kind of forming a second set of rings around this first one, if you follow what that means. If you don't follow what that means, you can look at the bowl right here with the big green grass. You can see that's surrounded by mountains. You can see the kind of like circle around it, but then you can see there's a second set of mountains that is basically formed by all of these different lines meeting each other, and it just means there's a lot of mountains around your original mountains. Is that good enough for you? I would actually argue that it's technically, within the confines of Minecraft, not being able to form a ring of mountains around your ring of mountains. I think that's pretty good by itself, but what makes it crazier in my opinion is how often the seed is doing this elsewhere. This is the seed that is maxing out mountain bowls, and it's absolutely crazy, but what's also crazy is the terrain does in fact go up to Y256, but also the fact that down underneath one of these, as you can see, this is a mountain bowl. It's a roof forest one, which is a really, really weird place to be, but if we dig down from this and we just do it really fast, you'll see something interesting down below it. Do you know what it's going to be? I think you can guess. It isn't. Oh, it's a lush cave. Yeah, that's exactly what he asked for. But if we dig down below that and maybe get the right coordinates, you'll see that this is a deep dark just below it, which is kind of crazy. I mean, seeing a deep dark for lush caves just above it always is a fun thing by itself. But yeah, this is a normal deep dark and indeed ancient city, which is what he wanted. So is there a stronghold in between this, these mountain ranges? Technically, no. You have to go over 1,000 blocks away to a different mountain bowl for that. I know, so boring. But are there the types of caves you want? I think it would be impossible to say no looking at this, but yeah, that is something that is absolutely wild to say. To have the condition, which was impossible, be fulfilled anyway twice, and then have a condition that seems like it should be impossible, fulfilled 13 out of 14ths of the way, is one of the wild things about what you can do if you break down seed finding into the code itself. This is something that CrackedMagnet is an absolute god at doing, and his his tools for finding bedrock seeds are so wild. Minecraft seed generation is a massive nightmare of different conflicting values, taking the seed and doing wild things with it, which means it's still being deconstructed in various ways to this day, and so it's possible that the wildest seed has yet to be found, but with the existing technology, these are 5 of the craziest seeds that hopefully fulfill your dreams. I hope this was an interesting concept to you. If you really, really liked it, we might be able to do it again. It does have to be said, this took CrackedMagnet a huge amount of time because you have to search a ridiculous number of seeds to be sure that you're anywhere near the best for one of these categories. But let me know in the comments down below if you thought this was good, or if you'd rather see kind of back to basic seeds. Like, is a seed that's mind-blowing even good to you? If you want to see something that's just more simple, a nice go-to starter seed, let me know that in the comments, because I guess I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's extra length Seed Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you for the Let's Play tomorrow and the ultimate guide, which is starting this week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.